Guys, welcome back. Tuesday today. Welcome to the Natural Effect podcast where we talk about health, wealth, and everything else. And I've got a long stream ready for you guys. I'm at least going to be here for the next 3 hours. We've got a lot to talk about, a lot of politics, a lot of sports, a lot of general news in general. From Jake Paul fighting Anthony Joshua, that's insane to me. Like, for the first time ever, I'm actually respecting Jake Paul fully. The fact that he's taking this fight. If Anthony Joshua doesn't knock him out, I don't know what the fuck is going on in this world. Either it's fixed and it's a fraudulent fight, or Anthony Joshua's trash. But there's no way, man. I think finally we're going to see what everyone wanted to see, is Jake Paul getting knocked out and, probably retire shortly after it. We're on Instagram as well. Not many of us on Instagram, but I'm gonna cut the stream from Instagram. We're gonna come over to Twitch and Kick, Rumble, and YouTube. I think we might be on Facebook as well, or not? No. Okay, so yeah, just Kick, Twitch, Rumble, and YouTube, guys. It's the Natural Effect podcast. You think AJ will take the dive and money? I don't see that happening, Dean, and I'll tell you guys why I don't see that happening. Because AJ has a shitload of money. Let's just research here how much AJ is actually worth, man. Anthony Joshua net worth. I would say definitely at least 100 million. $195 million. So Anthony Joshua is worth $195 million. What possibly could Jake Paul pay him to take a dive and embarrass himself like that? I really don't see it happening. I'm hoping Jake Paul's just completely deluded. He goes into the fight and he gets absolutely obliterated in a round. I don't think Anthony Joshua is the most amazing fighter, right? Even though he's definitely improved the last few years. But he's a heavyweight. He's a big guy. He's still a professional champion in the heavyweight division of boxing. And yeah, man, there's no chance that Jake Paul's going to win this fight. How does he win it? Is he going to knock out Anthony Joshua? He says he is, but I don't see that happening. For me, honestly, I think that on Anthony Joshua, if this is a real fight, is going to knock him out in the first round. No doubt about it. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that Jake Paul has any chance against Anthony Joshua? Is it agreed that Mike Tyson lost on purpose? Nah, it's not agreed. It's not agreed. Look, I know a lot of people called out a few things that happened within that Mike Tyson fight. They said that he pulled back a few of the shots, but nevertheless, that was a 50-something-year-old Mike Tyson, That wasn't the real Mike Tyson. That's not Mike Tyson even just past his prime. That's Mike Tyson as an old man. So going and fighting Mike Tyson is one thing, but going and fighting Anthony Joshua is completely different. And yeah, if you want me to be honest with you, it is the first time ever in Jake Paul's career that I'm actually excited to see this fight. The last time he lost, I actually called it. I said he was going to lose to Tommy Fury, and I actually called that he was going to win every other fight since that. Now, the Tanky fight, I did think he was going to lose a Tanky fight, but I thought he was just going to lose to points. I thought Gervonta Davis was going to run around the ring and, just keep his distance, just quick shots, and probably win it on points if you want me to be honest with you. However, it's been cancelled due to domestic abuse, from what I understand, in Gervonta Davis's personal life. But yeah, Anthony Joshua stepping in is definitely the most excited I've been for a Jake Paul fight. Would you guys agree with me? Of course, AJ will win, but maybe the fight might be fixed. Okay, that's a good take from Tanky. I actually agree. That's a good take actually from Tanky. That's actually a good take. Perhaps it is a fixed fight, but they just say, Jake Paul just says, don't knock me out in the first round. Just, make it out that it's going to be some sort of war, but you beat me still. But even that, Tanky, I would say that Anthony Joshua is still embarrassing himself. Imagine if Anthony Joshua goes out there and makes it an 8, 7, 9 round fight and he just about or beats Jake Paul, for me, that's not good enough. He's still going to be the laughing stock of the town, and Jake Paul will still be you know, his value's still going to go up. Look, even if Jake Paul gets knocked out in the 9th round, completely out, his stock will still go up. Just the fact that he was able to stay in there for 8-9 rounds with a heavyweight champion. So that's my take. AJ should pepper him up with his experience and power quickly. Yeah, I agree. There's no way. Be rigged as usual, Turpy Tins. Yeah, look, I completely agree with you guys that Jake Paul's fights, there is definitely something fishy going on there, you know, from the times with the, even like, you know, at the beginning, the Ben Askren. Look, Ben Askren would always lose to Jake Paul, but it's just the way things happened. Yes, host Luis Blanco. Yes, AV in the house as well. Yeah, props to Jake for taking the fight. I won't believe it until they're in the ring together. No, man, it's official, AV. It's actually completely official. It's 19th of December, from what I understand. It's going to be Jake Paul vs. Anthony Joshua. And it's going to be in Miami. And that's a great time to go to Miami, guys. December's an amazing month for Miami. Still has beautiful weather. And there's not many places in America where the weather's nice. New sauna, brother. Brother, I just got out the sauna. Literally just before the stream, I just got out the cold plunge and the sauna. My local place does a little contrast where they have a cold plunge there and they have like a red light therapy sauna. So yeah, man, I'm feeling amazing. I've actually got a competition this weekend. I'm going back to Palm Springs where I got my first tournament win, and let's hope I get my first major, man. But not hope. You know, I'm going in there with not high expectations, but, you know, me winning the last Indio tournament, I'm still, you know, confident going there, and hopefully I can pull off a major, man. I think probably if I hit a major, I'll probably hit the record for the quickest major ever in foot golf, if you want me to be completely honest with you. I don't think any players in foot golf have gone out there on their 3rd season and won a major in foot golf. But yeah, let's see how it goes. I spent last 3 weeks renovating mine. I'm dead, but we'll heat it up tomorrow. Enjoy it tomorrow, host Luis Blanco. Enjoy, my brother. I guess Jake will be retiring with a headache. A little bit worse than a headache, AV. I think it's going to be some CTE. If Joshua catches him flush, come on, man. Like, look, Joshua ain't a great boxer, but he has power in his hands. That's one thing. And he has looked better in his last 3-4 fights. He's definitely improved. The old Anthony Joshua almost used to fight with like terrible footwork and used to be very stiff like a bouncer, you know, like a security guard. But I think he's definitely improved. His footwork's improved. He's definitely quicker. His movement's better. His head movement's better. So yeah, let's see how it goes, man. All right, what's Tanky said? Who's actually got Jake Paul back? Maybe that might answer a few questions. Who's actually got Jake Paul's back? Okay, what do you mean by that? Like, as in what kind of athletes do? I think Jake Paul just has his team backing him, right? Could be wrong, but it seems that way. No, Turpy Tins, you're definitely right there. But guys, listen, everyone in my chat on Instagram, you know, there's a good 4 of you guys. I know there's not many of you guys. I'd appreciate it, guys. Come over to YouTube, come over to Rumble, Kick, or Twitch. Either of those, the chat comes up right here. I'm going to cut off the stream on Instagram. And who's backing him? I don't think anyone in the chat's backing him. I don't think we've had one. You know, there's a good, how many people in the chat right now? Amongst all of us, it's like just under 10 of us. I don't think there's anyone in the chat who's actually backing Jake Paul. But yeah, guys, come over to YouTube, Kick, Twitch, Rumble. I'm going to cut off the streams. Appreciate you, Turpy Tin. See you there, brother. All right, cool. All right, Instagram's off, guys. And back to the stream. And yeah, I did actually go straight into the Jake Paul situation. You know, normally I like to tell you guys what we're going to go through each stream. But, you know, that's probably some of the latest big news. You know, I can't believe it either. I really can't believe it. And like I said, big props to Jake for taking the fight if it's not fixed. Guys, today we're actually, at the end, we're going to be reviewing the Toad G, which is the SFV cross the Toad Venom. I don't know if you guys have seen it. Here on the side camera. Yeah, nice focus. So yeah, guys, that's the Toji, the new latest thing by the firm. Which you guys, if you guys don't know about the firm, you should get to know about the firm if you're a weed smoker. If you're 420 friendly, they have absolutely taken over the last couple weeks. Actually, I wouldn't say taken over. I'll tell you why, guys. Look, they were killing it last year. This year, they're still killing it. But for me, this year is the year of the wizardries. But yeah, we're going to talk about that a little bit further later. So look, this is what we're talking about today, guys. We're going to go through my video, the biggest red flags video, just quickly give you guys some advertisement on it and make sure everyone goes and checks it out at the end of the stream. We're also going to go through our YouTube channel just to see some improvements and the latest things. Now we're going to cover the latest UFC card 322 at Madison Square Gardens. What an epic card it was. I know a lot of people didn't find the main fight as exciting. You know, it was Islam Makhachev against JDM. Islam Makhachev made it a wrestling match and completely dominated over 5 rounds. I think it was close to 21 minutes of control time, which is absolutely insane. So yeah, we're going to uncover UFC 322. And then from there, we're going to go into some MMA news. We're going to talk about this week's UFC card, which is in Qatar, which the main fight is Arman Tsarukyan vs Dan Hooker. And also on that card, we do have Ian Gary against Belal Muhammad. So yeah, that's going to be a good set of fights. You know, I'm going to be competing during the fights. As it's in Qatar, it's going to be early morning, but I will be watching it at the end. We will be hitting up on the Premier League. Big weekend coming up this week in the Premier League, especially for Arsenal. We can't afford to drop points. And we're going to talk about the Mexican protests which are happening right now. We're going to go over, talk about Dylan Dennis and what happened at UFC 322. We're going to uncover the complete cooking of Akaash Singh, who is he's a comedian here in America. You know, he's the partner of Andrew Schultz. Andrew Schultz. So, yeah, we're going to be uncovering the whole situation between Myron Gaines and Akaash. And, you know, Myron completely obliterated him. We're going to talk on Myron Gaines' haters and compare him to his haters. We're going to talk about the boxing fight between Conor Benn and Chris Eubank Jr. And we're going to go back to the Jake Paul fight just quickly. And then we're going to talk about Zionism. Mark Levine calls Tucker a Nazi and says Palestinians deserve to die. And then from there, we're going to go into Ben Shapiro, Brett Cooper, why I'm America first and not MAGA no more. And we're also from there going to talk about Tucker Carlson speaking to a guy called Dane Wigington. Majority of you guys probably don't know who Dane Wigington is, but he talks about weather geoengineering and chemtrails a lot. Definitely a lot of great information on that one. And from there, we're going to talk about Hassan Piker and the Democrats and how they hate the West and they hate the countries that we live in. We're going to talk about Muslim fatigue in the UK and the US again. Then we're going to talk about a lady called Victoria Everest and the latest video that's come out on her. The situation between Helwani and Ali Abdelaziz. Max B, the wavy king, is back home. Talk about Max B. We're going to talk about Greek women and a comparison between Greek women and men on Instagram, which is a little thing that come out. And then we're going to talk about wizardries winning Tsar Olympics. And then we're going to end it with the Toji review. So guys, we've got an epic review coming up. You know, I've worked hard on this stream. You know, lots of planning, lots of research. I appreciate if you guys go like, subscribe on all platforms, whether you're watching it on YouTube, pull up a tab on Rumble, on Kick, on Twitch. You know, the more viewers we can get up, the more comments, the more likes, the better it is. And hopefully in the future, amongst the Natureholics, which I have a new name for the squad. There's 7 of us in the chat right now. I actually have a new name for the squad coming up. I'm working on a network, a community for you guys where it's going to be a community and a network across the whole world. And we're going to have ambassadors from every big city. And what we're going to do together, we're going to create more resources, more finances. We're going to be doing more studying on real estate, on crypto, stocks, bonds. I'm going to be bringing on great guests every single week. We're going to be uncovering how to be an optimal human in all departments, whether that is physical, mental, spiritual. You know, I'm going to be uncovering everything. I'm going to make sure I'm one of the most diversified guys on the internet. So, okay. So guys, as you can see here we have the YouTube channel. If you can see our shorts, we're dropping shorts every single day, guys. Every single day, we've got at least 3-4 shorts coming out. You know, we're playing with the algorithm, releasing them at different times. I do have some strategy that we're going to start implementing from next week, which I think is definitely going to help the channel. But as you can see here, guys, we're doing decent numbers on some of it. Even here, if you go to the popular, some of our shorts have 26,000 views, 11,000, 23,000. You know, all different, from streams that I'll do with you guys to girls' nights to even interviews with guests that we've had, like Big Baby Gucci and even Moss, who we had last time. So, yeah, guys, even here, for some reason, the last live we did, you know, we had 353 views, which is not bad. It's going back to the same kind of numbers we had when we were doing girls' nights. And I know a lot of you guys prefer to watch girls' nights. You know, it's a lot more drama, listening to women, take accountability from myself and me basically roasting them. I know you guys like to see that. And we will be bringing girls' nights in the future. But for now, if we can get the views up of the live streams, I will be deleting a lot of the live streams in the future once I completely rip all the clips from them, just so I won't make the channel look nice and fresh. I don't want to make it look like, you know, I want to put the channel on its best front, on its best forefront forward, on its best what's the word I'm looking for? Best foot forward, yeah. There was another word I was looking for, but you know, that's another thing. I definitely need to work on my public speaking a lot more. So guys, if you guys see here as well, I'm going to go back here onto the browser. Here I released the 36. All right, so guys, I've got red flags here in women. 36 red flags to look out for in women. And yes, I know it's a random number. I know it's a lot of red flags. But in 2025, there's a tons of red flags in women. A majority of women do have these red flags. In actual fact, majority of women in 2025 don't make for good wives, good girlfriends, or good mothers. And I hope these 36 red flags to look out for are going to help you navigating in dating and how to move when finding a great woman in your life.
Well, sit, children. Let me give you the subject of the day.
All right. So, guys, I know these are generalities.
All right, cool.
And look, so that's the video, guys. Go check it out as soon as the stream's done. Lots of great, loads of great gems that I'll drop for you guys. Coming from my experience, my research, my experience I've seen in others, not just in myself. So, guys, go check that out for sure at the end of the stream. Make sure you like, make sure you comment. Even if you disagree, leave a comment behind. So, guys, as you saw, we had a big UFC card this weekend. We had UFC 322. And it was a great card, guys. It was a great card. We had a lot of submissions, a lot of knockouts. There wasn't too many submissions. You know, I know the co-main and main event was decision, but we didn't have too many decisions. In fact, majority of them were actually KOs. So yeah, guys, we're gonna uncover UFC 322 and what happened on that card. That's a decent card considering the card we just had. Dana's finishing the year strong. Yeah, Dana does kind of finish the year strong. He does. And I'll tell you guys why else it is as well. Because he's got Paramount coming through soon. So he definitely wants to hype up Paramount and get as many people over to that platform as possible. So UFC 322, Madison Square Gardens. We had fights not only in the octagon, but we also had fights outside of the octagon. Dylan Dennis, you know, talks a lot of shit on the internet. And guys, if you talk shit on the internet, like myself as well, you know, I don't talk shit personally on people, but, you know, I make jokes about groups of people. You know, I'm only having a laugh. But Dylan Dennis takes it that step further. He gets personal with people. He brings in religion. He brings in family. And when you do these things, guys, you have to take accountability. And he went to the UFC 322 in his hometown, his home city, of New York City, the Big Apple. And, you know, I thought it was going to be Masvidal that he was going to bump into. You know, we knew all of Islam's people were going to be there, but I didn't think Dylan Dennis would be dumb enough to be that close to the Dagestani clan, you know, and he was. In fact, there's a video, you know, I'll show you guys the video. He was not that far away from them. They saw him, you know, and before you know it, there was a brawl going on. You know, Dylan Dennis was maybe with like 3-4 other guys, but these Dagestanis, you know, they roll in heavy numbers, man. There was like 20 of them. And one of them was the up-and-coming UFC fighter, John Pork. You know, Chonko, that's his actual name. But, you know, as of lately, everyone calls him John Pork. You know, the whole situation which happened, and they got the wrong name for him, and it's just stuck. You know, Islam Makhachev told the people not to call him John Pork. But what does that do? That makes MMA fans even more call him John Pork. And as a Muslim, you don't want to be called John Pork. But John Pork ended up getting some clean shots on Dylan Dennis. And, you know, the latest news, I don't know if it's just rumors, but I heard that Dylan's tooth got knocked out. But what I do know for sure is Dylan looked kind of rough being escorted outside of the stadium, outside of the arena, outside of Madison Square Gardens. And not only did he get escorted outside of the UFC event, but he also got banned forever by a UFC owner, Dana White. Dana White, the president of the UFC, Dana White, said that Dylan Dennis will never be allowed at a UFC event again. So, guys, that's basically what happened outside of the octagon. You know, let me see if I can pull up a little video of Dylan. Okay, yeah, we have a few videos of Dylan here. There's Jonko there. So, guys, it looks like the Misfits, like heavyweight champion of the world, Dylan Dennis, finally got more of what's coming to him, man. You know, and that's why he really won't step in to the octagon or in a cage against real opponents. You know, his last guy he fought at Misfits was a complete bum, and you know, he's a great at talking shit, but finally the Dagestanis caught up to him. And here I have another video from, oh shit, okay, accidentally clicked that off. Okay, let me get it now. Dylan Dennis brawl. Because there is actually another.
New York's Madison Square Garden has hosted some big
even
fights.
The Australians have got it on their news. Crazy.
Weren't even on the card.
It wasn't even on the card.
Madison Square was due to take place. The punch-up ensued on the floor space just meters away. Have a look at these pictures. You can see people being dragged away. Punches were thrown, chairs were thrown, people belted around the place. For a fair few moments, the security came in and tried to bring this
Can you
all
not still
under
see
control.
the video?
Now it actually emerged that...
Is it I'm on YouTube, yeah. Because on my thing here, it shows Myron Gaines' thing. Right, that's it. Yeah, we need to all fix all these little issues, though.
A former teammate
cool,
of UFC champion Conor McGregor, Dylan Dennis, was actually behind all of this. He's had a fair troubled record with the UFC in the past. He'd had a ticket. He was seated in places where fighters only are supposed to sit, and that had angered some of the fighters down there who had clearly decided to get themselves involved with removing him from that area. In the end, it led to Dylan Dennis not only being removed from Madison Square Garden, but Dana White has now banned him for life. Gone for good from the Octagon, from the UFC, from Madison Square Garden. The fans in there who spent a bit of money on those tickets, well, they got a little bit more than they bargained for in the end.
They sure did. Thank you, John.
All right, cool. All right, cool. So, all right, let's roll through the UFC and break down the whole card then. So, look, Angela Hill, absolute beast. She's a warrior. But Angela, I think it's time you just become a full-time broadcaster. I don't want to see your record going to 18-18. Right now it's 18-16. She's close enough to having as many losses as wins. And look, I get it. Mixed martial arts is not like boxing. But, you know, to catch up in losses to wins is kind of wild. And I know Dana White likes her, you know, not DI, not affirmative action, not because of that. But, you know, she is truly a warrior. She is. But it's time for her to retire, call it quits, and just let her go, man. What about now? Oh, it's fixed now, yeah? All right, cool. Yeah, I guess I couldn't see the chats before either. All right, cool. So, Erin Blanfield completely dominates Tracy Cortez in their second fight, a rematch. And now, you know, it's probably time. It's probably time that Erin Blanfield goes along and fights Valentina next. You know, we saw Valentina going up against Zhang Weili, two of my favorite female fighters. And what happened is exactly what I envisioned. Valentina is simply just too big for Zhang Weili, man. And, you know, Weili is a great fighter, but she just looks way too small in there. And I think she should go back to her weight, back to strawweight, and fight Mackenzie Dern. So the next female matchups I want to see in the UFC, I want to see Erin Blanchfield going up against Valentina Shevchenko, even though I do think Valentina will get the win there. And next up, I do want to see Zhang Weili going up against the current champion, Mackenzie Dern. You know, Weili never lost her title, so really and truly, I kind of see her as the real champion, but you can't take it away from Mackenzie Dern. So I do want to see that matchup. I do think that Weili would beat Mackenzie Dern. Who's your money on, guys? Let me know. Okay. You know, and on that note, for me, Valentina Shevchenko has become one of the GOATs in the UFC. She is one of the female GOATs alongside Amanda Nunes. Now, me personally, I think she's even more of a GOAT than Amanda Nunes. I'll tell you guys why. I know she lost to Alexa Grasso in that submission, you know, in the rematch she beat her. However, when she lost her other fight, it was against Amanda Nunes and she was going up in weight again, just like Weili did. And for me, Valentina Shevchenko is way too much of a small girl to go up to bantamweight to 135. You know, 125 is her division, and that's the division that she's dominated in. And for me, she is one of the GOATs of the UFC. Valentina Shevchenko, you know, once it's all said and done, your name will be remembered forever in the UFC Hall of Fame. Now, another thing that confused me this weekend gone is, you know, I kind of follow some numerology. And, you know, I follow a guy called Gary who talks about numbers a lot, numerology. So because he talks about Chinese zodiac years a lot, I happen to like follow it a little bit more. And I know that it's the year of the horse coming up. Now, I did a bit of research and I researched that Zhang Weili's year that she was born in was in 1989, which would make her a snake, right? And this is across across the whole internet. If you type in on Google Zhang Weili birth date, it comes up 1989. Look, I can show you right now. Right? So let me show you now. Zhang Weili birthday. Okay, so guys, here you see it says August 13th, 1989, which by a Chinese zodiac sign would make her a horse, right? Now, it was confusing to me because at the pre-fight press conference at the UFC card 322, they asked, one of the journalists actually said to Zhang Weili, well, look, you're a snake, and next year, no, he basically said to her, you're a snake, and this is your year, you know, it's the year of the snake. So would you say this is one of the reasons you think you're definitely going to go out there and beat Valentina Shevchenko? Basically, that's kind of what the journalist said. Look, we're going to see the actual clip right now. So, and she says,
here in 2025, it's the year of the snake once again. In 1989, the year, born in 1989, the year of the snake. Now here in 2025, it's the year of the snake once again. You're gunning to become a 2-division champion this Saturday night. So that kind of, the zodiac stuff, did you know that? Does that play into your mind at all, you know, going into a fight like this?
I'm not a snake. I'm horse. I'm is 1990, so 1990 years.
Oh, okay. My apologies. But
yeah.
The year of the snake, is that like an important year? I hear that has a lot of...
But the snake years for horse is so good. Give me a lot of energy.
Very good. Thank you. You were born in 1989.
Okay, so as you heard it, guys, don't always trust what the internet tells you. You know, across the whole internet, if you research the day of her birth, it says 13th of August 1989, but you just heard from her there that she was actually born in 1990. So I'm guessing her birthday was in 1990, August 13th. So yeah, I guess don't trust everything that you read or see on the internet, guys. And me, I'm also a horse, so this is my year coming up as well. You know, it's been a snake year this year. It hasn't been a bad year for me. A lot more, not enjoyment more than work, but a lot of background work. Let's just say that. It's been a good year. It's been a good year with me. I spent a lot of time with my cousin who I hadn't seen in such a long time. You know, now we've probably, you know, seen so much of each other. We live with each other. We got to go and travel majority of America together. And definitely one of the people in my life that I love a lot. And he's definitely been very loyal to me. Never expected much from me. And never taken things personal. You know, people who know me well know I've got a certain personality where I'm very blunt. I just say things how they are. Can come off a little bit slightly aggressive, but I think that's the best way for men to be and for men to accomplish the most they can in life. So yeah, the snake year has been good for me, but I do know for next year is going to be the year, and it's my year, the horse year, which happens one in every 13 years. So it's a rare time, and yeah, born in 1990, just like Zhang Weili. So okay, guys, back to the UFC. So I think the biggest underdog of the UFC 322 card actually went out there and got a fucking W. Cali-based Ethan Ewing went out there against Malcolm Wellmaker. And you know, everyone was high on Malcolm Wellmaker, talking about his striking, how much potential he has in the future in the UFC. And, you know, with 2 days notice, steps up Ethan Ewing, Cali-based, SoCal-based actually as well. So, yeah, he steps up. And, you know, no one really gave him a chance. I think he was a plus 600 underdog. And he went out there, and what a performance it was by Ewing, man. He completely mixed it up. A lot of feints. His striking was great as well, you know, and he incorporated a good amount of wrestling in his striking. Very well all-rounded. And I'll tell you another thing which I noticed about Ewing, and I'll tell you guys something. This is the muscle that means the most in mixed martial arts. And majority of all sports, if you want me to be honest with you, it's the brain. The brain, guys. Yeah? The fucking brain. And Ewing is a smart fighter. And honestly, that's how he beat Worldmaker. He beat Worldmaker by being all-rounded, being smart, putting out the right feints out there, and he caught him a lot of times, man. So, yeah, big up to Ewing. He smashed it out there. William's son, 1919. How you doing? I'm doing well, brother. How you doing well? How you doing, William? You doing well? Cheapviewerstreamboo.com. Remove the space. Nah, I think that's a bot right there. Okay, cool. So, is the Bo Nickel hype train back? I don't know. But listen, it's got a good chance of coming back. That high kick on Rodolfo Vieira was unbelievable. And let me tell you guys something. I knew Bo Nickel had decent striking, but I didn't think he had that in him. That high kick that he caught Rodolfo with was absolutely sweet and beautiful. Very clean. And look, Bo Nickel, I do think needs to work on his jiu-jitsu because we already know he has great wrestling, guys. But to me, he seems slightly afraid to go down on the ground with a lot of these jiu-jitsu guys. Happened with Paul Craig, and even against Rodolfo, it seemed to me that wasn't the route he wanted to take. So, is he back, guys? Is Bo Nickel back? And let me tell you guys, I don't really ask for rematches much, especially when they're just happen. But I do want to see Bo Nickel going up against RDR again. Yeah, I want to see him going up against RDR again because RDR lost against Brendan Allen. You know, got beat up and then actually quit on the stool. So I'd like to see that fight happen in the future again. Who do you guys want to see Bo Nickel fight next? I do think that the UFC have given him some favourable matchups apart from the RDR fight. So I do want to see him get that one back. And look, Bo Nickel has improved a lot since his last fight as well. So, yeah, big props to him. Guys, what's your opinion on that as well? Do you think Bo Nickel's back? Do you think he's still hype? What do you guys think? Cool. I'll be conscious of it. What a fight. What a fight it was for the Frenchman this weekend. 16 seconds, guys. 16 seconds is all it took for Beneil Dariush to go out there and... Oops, fucking hell. I nearly said the completely wrong thing. 16 seconds, guys. 16 seconds it took for the Frenchman, fucking hell, completely butchered his name. 16 seconds it took for the Frenchman, Benoit Saint-Denis, to take out Beneil Dariush. Guys, I did not expect that. To be honest with you, I saw that fight going into the third round. Maybe even a decision, if you want me to be honest with you. Two tough guys in the lightweight division. And fuck, I did not expect that. And it makes me question, did Beneil Dariush have a very harsh camp? Because we know that he missed weight, guys, yeah? And, you know, we've seen Beneil get knocked out before. But not in that way. Not so quick, guys. No. And, yeah, he caught him with the first overhand right over the top. Caught him flush. And Beneil was out head first on the floor. Some people said that, you know, he was beginning to turn around. No, absolutely not. That was a very good stoppage. And Benoit Saint-Denis has got his name back into the talking points when it comes to the contender in the lightweight division, guys. Next up, the chain smoker fighting nerd, Carlos Prates, went out and took out my fellow Brit, Leon Rocky Edwards. And, you know, Leon come out there in the first round, dominate the first round. Even took Prates' back, which I do think that Prates' weakness is in the grappling section, in the grappling department. I think When it goes to ground, Prates is not that strong on the ground, guys. And I think that is where he will be exposed by a lot of the guys in the welterweight division. However, he got his back taken. He never got submitted. The second round starts off, Leon Edwards catches him with a few kicks to the stomach. But before you know it, Prates catches him, with the right hand. Catches him with the left straight, it was, I think. What was it? Was it a left straight? Let me get it up right now. I think it was a left straight, right? Prates, Leon Edwards. So Leon putting the pressure here. Left hand. Yeah, left straight. And that's all she wrote, guys. That's all she wrote. And my fellow Brit, Leon Edwards, his eyes were rolling back. Never seen Leon in that situation. We've seen him get submitted in his last fight against Sean Brady. Was it Sean Brady? Yeah, Sean Brady. It was Sean Brady, right? But to get knocked out like that was insane to see. And especially knowing that Leon Edwards is great in the striking department. But for me, that's why I did go with Prates, because Prates' output and his power is just a different level to Leon Edwards. And, what's next for Leon Edwards now? I feel bad for him, man. It's 3 losses in a row now. I do think that Leon should probably retire, if you want me to be honest with you. He's an ex-champion. He probably doesn't need the money no more, especially living in Birmingham, guys. Like, living in Birmingham, all you need is 5 million and you're well good for the rest of your life. And I'm pretty sure Leon Edwards has more than that. So, just dropped a follow for you. Shabina, how are you doing today? Thank you, Shabina. We don't have that many females in the chat that many times, but, we've had a few females in the chat before, but not so often. But yeah, big up to you, Shabina. Thank you for being here. Where is everyone in the chat from, by the way? Where are you guys from? Where's everyone from? So, talking of Sean Brady, I went with Sean Brady this weekend, guys. However, the up-and-coming star, if you want me to be honest with you, the Ecuadorian, Michael Morales, for me, I did think that he was going to meet his match with Sean Brady, going up against a guy who's a lot more experienced, a guy who takes it to ground and kind of molds people in that division. However, we know that he does have good wrestling, Morales. He's not a punk, yeah? His mum was a judo champion. He did do wrestling from when he was young, and he went out there. He didn't use no grappling whatsoever, but what he did do was show why he is one of, if not the best striker in that welterweight division. And for me, this guy is a problem. And I'll tell you guys, that's the next fight I want to see. I want to see Michael Morales going up against Carlos Prates, 2 absolute animals in the welterweight division. And if you want me to be honest with you, that can be a fight for the #1 contender fight against Islam Makhachev. Now, whoever wins out of that fight either needs to go to Dagestan for 2-3 months and forget, or he needs to really and truly spend every second in his camp wrestling, bring in jiu-jitsu guys, bring in other Dagestani guys or guys from Chechnya, for example, to really put the pressure on them. Because Islam Makhachev, as you guys saw this weekend, he is not a fucking joke. And that welterweight, he wasn't a small guy. He went out there and absolutely dominated JDM. Not only did he dominate JDM, but he nearly made him cry, man. It was actually sad to see the look on JDM's face. Like I said before, 21 minutes out of 25 minutes of control time. And even in the striking department, Islam Makhachev looked better than JDM. He caught him with nice leg kicks, yeah? Which, his leg kick looked completely torn up by the end of the fight. And Islam Makhachev showed why discipline, hard work will always conquer. That's why Khabib was the most dominant champion until this day. And Islam Makhachev has also shown to be one of the most dominant champions. And not only is he a champion, but now he is a double champion. And guys, I don't really want to even see Topuria vs Islam Makhachev, because if you guys think that what happened to JDM was bad, exactly the same thing would happen to Topuria. We know that Topuria has got rocks in his hands. We know that he can knock anyone out, even guys heavier than him. I do believe that. But I don't think that Islam Makhachev is going to go out there and take the risk. Islam Makhachev is going to go out there, he's going to take down Topuria, and he's going to absolutely mow him for 5 rounds. That's what's going to happen. Like, there's no way someone the size of Topuria, I don't care how good he is at jiu-jitsu, there's no way I see him getting back up to his feet. If he does, I would actually go out and say that Topuria is one of the best fighters ever. I know he's one of the GOATs right now, and he's done a lot in his career. Even the way he took out Max Holloway, the way he took out Volkanovski. However, if he's able to do what do the same thing to Islam Makhachev, his stock's gonna fly. You're welcome. I'm from Virginia. What about you? Well, I live in LA, but the chat's from all different places. By the way, I do some crazy art. Laugh out loud, and I love to show you my art. Here's my Discord, Shabina10. Well, we do have a Discord. We actually will be more active in the Discord, so maybe you can join the Discord of the team. Yeah, I'll check out your art. I'm hoping your art isn't like what majority of females' art is these days, which is like OnlyFans and sexual pictures. I hope it's not that kind of art, Shabina. If it is, you're in the wrong place, man. Because you know, I don't not into that, and I told my viewers the same thing. You know, no simp culture around here. But I'm hoping that it's actually real good art. So okay. And, you know, this weekend we do have Belal Muhammad going up against Ian Gary. And for this fight, I'm kind of torn, but I do think that Belal might get that win. I think that Belal might give Ian Gary his second loss of his life. You know, after going up against Rakhmonov in that epic fight. You know, it was a close fight. Big props to Ian Gary. But I do think that Belal saw what happened with Rakhmonov, and he's going to try and implement the same game plan, especially what happened this week with JDM and Islam Makhachev. I think Belal Muhammad's going to go out there, not be stubborn like he was against JDM, and really commit to his takedown, take down Ian Gary and hold him there. However, I don't think it's going to be easy, because Belal is not Islam Makhachev, guys. And we saw that with the whole JDM thing. Belal was not able to keep JDM down. Within Islam definitely was, right? He wasn't able to submit him, but he was able to completely dominate him for 5 rounds. Now, I think that Belal hopefully has been working on his wrestling, has gone back to Dagestan for another 2-3 months, comes back and takes Ian Gary to the ground, actually commits to the takedowns and tries to get a submission, rain down some ground and pound and get that W, even if it is a decision. Now, there is a chance that Ian Gary is able to keep it standing and absolutely pepper up Belal Muhammad, because Ian Gary, guys, has got great striking. He is a great striker, and he's very smart, guys. Like I told you guys before, IQ and brain function is one of the most underrated things in MMA. Like Khabib, he was a smart guy. He wasn't the most technical striker, but he incorporated his striking with his wrestling, was very smart, and always got the W. So, yeah, I guess Shabina hasn't responded back, which, guys, I'm guessing she does sex work. Yeah, guys, don't follow her Discord. Probably an L. Ironic, right? She comes in here, drops her art and her Discord, which is most likely gonna be sexual art, if we're gonna be honest. And her name's Shabina, which she could be a Pajita and she could be a Shaniqua. I don't know. Ironic because we're actually going to be talking about Pajitas in a little bit. So guys, on that note, who is next up for Islam Makhachev, guys? Who's next up for Islam? Is it going to be the winner out of Ian Gary and Belal? Is it going to be Michael Morales or Prates, or even the winner between those two? Or is it going to be Kamaru Usman, the legend? Me personally, if you ask me, I think the number one contender has to be Rakhmonov. I know he's been injured for a year, but Shavkat has gone through majority of the division. He's very dominant. He has got great wrestling. And tell me, is there anyone who doesn't want to see Islam Makhachev going up against Shavkat Rakhmonov? That is the fight to make, guys. Two guys who have got good striking, but even better wrestling and submission game. I want to see those two guys going up against each other. Now, if it's not going to be those two guys, then perhaps it's going to be either Kamaru Usman, the winner out of Ian Gary and Belal Muhammad, or even the winner out of Michael Morales and Prates, if they do make that fight in the welterweight division. Okay. So also this weekend, we've got the UFC Qatar card. You know, it's going to be early hours of the morning here. Yeah, and this weekend, guys, we do have the UFC Qatar card. It's going to be early here in LA, starting in the morning. It's going to be good times in Europe for once. I'm happy for you guys, especially my British guys. I know the UFC are always on terrible times for you guys, but it being in Qatar this weekend, it's at a good time for you guys in the evening, and I'm definitely looking forward to it. It's going to be a good card from start to finish, and I'm definitely looking forward to the main event. The main event is the two lightweight contenders. It is Dan Hooker going up against Arman Tsarukyan. For me, Arman Tsarukyan is the hardest fight for Ilia Topuria in the lightweight division. He's got great wrestling, he's got good submission game, and he's even got great striking. And Arman Tsarukyan literally is built like an absolute animal. I don't think the guy has any percentage of fat on him. He's completely ripped. And I do think he'll be a big problem. And I do think he'll be a big problem for Ilia Topuria. Now, this weekend against Dan Hooker, you know, I think he can keep it standing if he wants, but I think he'll be stupid to, because Dan Hooker is a great striker and he is weak on the ground. So I think the easiest route for Arman Tsarukyan, the Armenian, is to get it to the ground, implement his wrestling, maul him, and perhaps get in a submission. And I do think that's what's going to happen. I think it's going to be a third round submission from Arman Tsarukyan. Who have you guys got for this weekend? Let me know in the comment section. Let me know. All right, cool. This weekend, we also have a big Premier League. Also this weekend, we do have big Premier League fixtures, guys. We do have Arsenal going up against Tottenham, the scum. Yeah, the North London derby. Yeah, it is Arsenal against Tottenham at the Emirates. And guys, we cannot afford to drop any points. And I'm worried. We can't even afford a draw. Manchester City is on absolute fire. And I know they've got a tough fixture going up against Newcastle away this weekend. But something's just telling me is they're just going to run through Newcastle. They're on fire right now. Their team chemistry is on the up. They're playing great football. Foden's on fire. Haaland's on fire. And I'm worried for Arsenal. You know, we've seen it in the past where we've been a lot of points in front and we've given it away, even 2 seasons ago against Manchester City, against last time against Liverpool. And I don't want to see it again, guys. So I'm hoping we are able to go out and get the win this week against Tottenham. absolutely obliterate them and keep our unbeaten streak going. We haven't lost since we lost against Liverpool at the at Anfield. And guys, let's go Gunners. Yep, Gabriel's injured, man. Gabriel is injured, which is going to be a big miss for us, as you know, Jose Luis Blanco. And will Nottingham Forest make things even worse for Liverpool? Liverpool seem to be struggling as of recently. They're going through a very bad spell. And guys, is Nottingham Forest going to go out there and pepper Liverpool up and make it even worse for them this season? Yeah, we're playing on, I thought it was on Boxing Day. Okay, cool. So we're playing on the 27th, Arsenal-Brighton. Me vs Jose Luis Blanco. And guess what, guys? We're going to fucking stream that for you guys. Me and Jose Luis Blanco are going to be on stream together. I'm announcing it right now, organically. I'm definitely going to be streaming that with Jose Luis Blanco. I don't even give a fuck if it's just me and Jose Luis Blanco because, you know, he's been one of my supporters from the beginning. We're at a stage right now where there's not many of us. And Jose Luis Blanco, I want to just say to you, bro, I really do appreciate you coming here. You know, I do drop a lot of value. I do think my streams are great for having hardly any people in here. You know, I do put good research into it. And I do think I'm a good speaker. Not perfect. Going to work on becoming a better speaker. Going to work on creating even better content. But I do think I'm decent, man. So, yeah, I appreciate you nevertheless, Jose Luis Blanco. But, yeah, you guys are definitely not going to win 2-0 away. By that time, I'm hoping that we're a lot more clear of Manchester City and we have a lot more breathing space and we don't go into matches nervous and afraid of losing. Because that's why I'm worried against Tottenham, because now being 4 points away from City, guys, it's not looking good, guys. It's not looking good for Gunners. Like, you know, we shouldn't have dropped points against Sunderland. I know it was a tough game, but, you know, I don't think we could afford that. Another video I wanted to play to you guys. So last time I didn't have my video, so I couldn't play to you guys this, but check out this video. This video is hilarious, guys. So going back to UFC is Aiden Ross and Islam Makhachev.
Never. What's a date?
You don't know.
Oh, wait.
Never?
Never. What's a date? I'm not joking. What's a date? This one?
Sugar.
Are there seeds or anything or not? Just eat it. There's seeds in the middle.
It's a fruit.
It's a fruit.
It's really good. Stop making that face.
It's good. Good. Oh my God. It's a fruit.
You don't know nothing.
I don't know anything.
You don't know nothing.
Oh wait, dates are from Russia?
No, dates. It's not from Russia. It's from like Middle East.
It's really good, bro.
It's really good.
Wow. Is that your favorite fruit?
Yeah. How you don't know?
Oh, wait.
Never?
Let's watch it one more time.
I'm not
Man.
joking. What's a date? This one?
Sugar.
Are there seeds or anything or not? Just eat it. There's seeds in the middle.
It's a fruit. It's really good. Stop making that face.
It's good. Good. Oh my God. It's a fruit.
You don't know nothing.
I don't know anything.
Dates. How you don't know?
Oh wait, dates are from Russia?
No, dates. It's not from Russia. It's from like Middle East.
It's really good, bro.
It's really good.
Wow. Is that your favorite fruit?
Yeah. How you don't?
Guys, that's when you know the youth, the youngsters, yeah, Gen Z, absolutely fucking cooked. And this is not the first time this has happened, guys. You know, as you guys know, I date only younger women. And I've dated loads of younger women before and I'll show them dates. Hey, fuck it, even women my age I've shown dates before. And how many times it's been the first time they've ever had a date? It absolutely blows my fucking mind. Aiden Ross didn't even know what a date was. How insane is that? And that shows how fucked up the nutrition is for the youth these days. They'll know what Dave's Hot Chicken is. They know what In-N-Out is and animal fries and all this garbage and all these different sweets and energy drinks and candies, but they don't know what a date is. Something that comes from a palm tree. And even to correct Islam Makhachev, yes, it comes from the Middle East. It comes from places like Iran, but it also comes from California, for example. We are one of the biggest producers of dates and we actually make some of the most amazing dates. And for me, it is my favorite fruit. It is a fruit, so it's one of my favorite fruits alongside with seeded watermelon and mangoes. But how can you not know what a date is, man? Like, so many amazing benefits to dates, how tasty it is. It's like so sweet and beautiful. And like, yeah, people, like the youth, you guys need to come back to nature, man. Like, it blows my mind how Aiden Ross didn't know what a date was. And especially him being a Jew as well. Because, you know, my boy, one of my closest best friends, is a Jew. And he loves dates. And even in Jewish culture, you know, and I know you guys are probably thinking, what, one of your best friends is Jewish? Yes, guys, I'm very critical of Israel and Jewish supremacy, but still one of my best friends is Jewish. And yeah, and he even tells me in their culture, like, they love dates. So for Aiden Ross, who's a Jew, to not know what a date is, blows my fucking mind. Okay, we move on to Mexico. Okay. How's Luis Blanco? Talking of Brighton, you guys are not doing too bad, man. You're sitting at 11th right now, right? You're just up and down, wins, losses. But look, 11th isn't bad. Hopefully, because I don't want Brighton to do well. You know, I actually lived in Brighton for a couple, like at least a year and a half of my life. I was going back and forth there. I was dating a girl who lived out there. And, you know, she was a lot older than me at the time, which is funny because when I was younger, I did like older women. I was probably like 22 at the time and she was like 30. She was actually a multi-millionaire as well, which is crazy. She actually owns she owns the leading Arab horse. She's the leading Arab wholesaler in Europe. So, yeah, I used to date her. And I also had an old friend who was going to university in Brighton. So I would go back and forth to Brighton. It's actually a beautiful town, a beautiful place, and you know, not much crime down there. You know, apart from the LGBT community, Brighton's a beautiful place. Okay, so Mexicans go absolutely wild, guys, absolutely wild. So we're gonna pull this up. So yeah, guys, I don't know if you've seen it, but Mexicans, especially the young Mexicans, have absolutely gone crazy, and they're protesting outside the state palace, writing on it. You know, they've even gone as far to actually get violent. And you know, I say that we should never be violent in protest. However, they're trying to take over their government. Their government is run by cartels, guys. Mexico is a failed nation. And it's a shame because Mexican culture is amazing. It's beautiful. Their food, their music, their women. Yeah. Like Mexican culture is amazing. And to see their country get taken over by cartels and have it being run by this Jewish lady, Claudia Sheinbaum, whatever her name is, it's insane. And the Gen Z, the youth of Mexico are fighting back and they've had enough, guys. Here are some images of what's happening in Mexico right now.
In Mexico. Tonight, there are growing questions into a surge of youth-led protests taking place across major cities in Mexico. The demonstrations reaching a fever pitch over the weekend as some hooded protesters tore down fences around the National Palace, home to President Claudia Sheinbaum. Images from the clashes show riot police using tear gas and smoke bombs, trying to calm the crowds, seen here kicking the fence and throwing rocks at officers. Mexico City's public safety secretary saying the protests left at least 120 injured, 100 of them officers, some who were taken to the hospital. The rallies organized by Generation Z Mexico, referring to the demographic group of people born between 1997 and 2012. This 16-year-old injured during the protest telling Telemundo, the people are dying, the people are disappearing. For it to get to the point where minors are here protesting, it's because the country is horrible.
And look, big up to all the youngsters in Mexico, man. Big up to you guys. You guys want to save your country. And do you know who should be joining you guys? The military and the police should be joining you guys. And it's time. It's time for a revolution. You know, across the whole world, but especially in Mexico. Mexico is a failed country with amazing culture. Like I said, amazing food, amazing music, beautiful women. And for it to be taken over by cartels, by this Jewish woman who is the president of Mexico, who's backed by BlackRock, backed by the WEF, yeah, the World Economic Federation. And it's simple. Mexico right now is a narco state because of her, guys. And any candidate that comes against her in Mexico happens to get taken out. She is a gangster. And she is Jewish. You don't believe me, guys? Check this, guys. Check this out, guys. So, yeah, guys, the youth have had enough of Claudia Sheinbaum and her Moreno party and all the corruption. So here we have on Wikipedia. Okay. Claudia Sheinbaum Pardo, born 24th June 1962, is a Mexican politician, energy and climate change scientist, an academic who is the 66th and current president of Mexico since 2024. She is the first woman she's the first woman and the first Jewish person to hold office. How is a Jew holding office of a Catholic country, guys? How? Tell me how, guys.
Single time, every single crime, every single lie, early lie, every single hour, every single day, every single night, early lie. I know it's hard to believe it's the whole forest, not one tree, and it's every branch and leaf. They're born to deceive, but I'm telling you the truth. It's not just one or two, it's every single Jew. They all hate you.
So, guys, every single time. All right, let's carry on playing this.
Protesters using a popular symbol, the pirate flag from the anime One Piece, seen in Gen Z protests around the globe, including ones in Nepal and Madagascar, which ended in the ousting of heads of state. This protester saying the Gen Z groups organized themselves on Discord. While President Sheinbaum saying this week the protests didn't arise organically with the youth, but were part of a $90 million campaign by her opponents. But back on the streets, this young man saying the movement isn't affiliated with any party, just an ideology.
And what is she talking about? She's taken out all her opponents. In fact, she's called martial law now. She wants her troops to attack the population and the protesters. And in fact, she shouldn't be attacking the protesters. She should be attacking the cartels that have infiltrated her country completely. But what do you expect? And it's always ironic. The stereotypes never fail.
Being based, or you'll get it every single time, every single crime.
Every single time, guys. It's always. To what? Is the internet back? But we've got everything still saved in it. Guys, do you want to just drop me a comment to see if we're back? I'm not sure if we got... it's not showing me here on the screen, though. Yeah. Okay, guys, we not sure. The stream went down there. Unfortunately, the stream went down, but yeah, we're back. We back. Channel doesn't support custom titles. Rumble. Yeah. But why doesn't it support it, the Rumble? All right. Is someone here? I thought I heard Austin. All right, cool. So yeah, we lost a bunch of you guys. It is what it is. I'm gonna finish the stream. Not sure if people have noticed that we're back. Let me see on Instagram. Okay, we're gonna get it cracking. Damn, Bitcoin is bleeding every time I'm checking it. Okay, so back to the stream we go. So yeah, as I said, Mexico needs to take a leaf outside of El Salvador's book, because El Salvador president, his name is Nayib Bukele. He's gone against the cartels. He's done exactly what Mexico has to do. He's gone against cartels. He's thrown a bunch of people in jail, you know, deported a bunch of fucking criminals. And yeah, it's simple, guys. That's what's going to be needed to clean up the country of Mexico. And you know, even if you actually check, because I know a lot of people have turned around and said, oh well, the El Salvador president is Jewish as well. He's actually not Jewish, guys. So if you see here on his early life, his dad converted from Christianity to Islam in the 1980s, and his maternal grandfather was Greek Orthodox and his maternal grandmother was Catholic. So yeah, he's got Palestinian in him. The El Salvador president has got Palestinian in him. And he's done a great job in El Salvador, guys. And even people in El Salvador, they've actually spoken how they want him to be the president until he dies. So big up to Nayib for doing a great job in El Salvador. And Mexico, you guys have to take a leaf out of El Salvador's book, because if you guys don't, Mexico is going to carry on being a failed nation, and it's actually going to get a lot worse. Okay. Okay, we're going to watch this video right now. So I'm not sure if you guys know who Akaash Singh is. He's a comedian. You know, he does like his duos with Andrew Schultz. You guys, I'm sure, know who Andrew Schultz is. But yeah, he does his comedian. He does his podcast and his comedies with Andrew Schultz. And he's like, you know, a small little Indian guy. But yeah, this is the latest video that's come out about it, because I actually remember when the interview happened, when Andrew Schultz and this Akaash Singh guy brought Fresh and Fit onto the platform. And I remember they completely tried to, like, you know, embarrass them and take away all their take away all their credibility, and basically say that they were full of shit. And this is the video, guys, that we're going to watch here, and I'm going to comment on it at the end.
What I find corny is my preference is not my women. Now, I thought it was I'm not dating my women, period, which is the corniest human being outside of a criminal to me, period.
Akaash only dates brown. Akaash has been with one girl in his life who is his wife.
That's my wife. That's an Indian woman.
So this is like loyal through and through.
Sometimes I get so painfully nostalgic for college. I was popping my pussy and living my best life in these white boy frat houses.
I'm actively trying to have an orgy and you haven't seen Nav yet, but wait till you fucking see him. His body goes crazy. His face card always slays, never declines. And it's kind of weird because I'm talking about your husband. I just know that Nav's dick is like at least 10 inches. Okay, I have two butthole stories. So one time I met this guy on Tinder and I like woke up in the morning and like my asshole was a little sore.
Oh my God.
And I remember, what kind of porn do you watch when you use a vibrator?
I just think my imagination is vibration enough. I'm just thinking of like my own husband while I'm like doing it.
Wait, that's kind of baller, but I could never do that.
Yeah. And so I was using you and your husband split finances. And I'm gonna be really fucking honest.
I don't.
We don't.
We don't.
We don't.
First of all, that's a fucking red flag. Any man that doesn't want to have a joint bank account or isn't being transparent with his accounts or has separate accounts, that's a fucking red flag. This is not a two-way street. This is a one-way street. His money is our money and my money is my money.
My money!
I never watched that show, but like he's on my hall pass list.
Oh yeah.
Chase Crawford, Jacob Elordi, Austin Butler.
Do you know why I think I have like a good marriage? I think it's because my husband's never here.
Oh God.
Okay, so I've been getting a lot of comments that I'm using my husband for clout, and yeah, that's exactly what it is. What's wrong with that?
Holy shit, bro. That is embarrassing. And this guy had the fucking nerve to talk shit to me all this time? Let's get into his girl. She goes...
Okay. Guys, this is why you must vet the women that you date, especially if you're trying to take her seriously. And honestly, this is why the red pill is the truth. Red pill in general means the truth. But I know a lot of people are very critical of the red pill space, especially when it comes to dating. They say this is very extreme. They say it's misogynistic, etc. However, the red pill never fails, guys. And this is another proof of it this time. Akaash Singh, whatever his name is, you know, whack comedian, never watched him before, but, you know, I've heard a few of his jokes and then they're very dry. Anyway, he went out and interviewed Myron Gaines and Walter Weeks fresh. And, you know, during the interview, he definitely shamed them, one, for not liking women of their own kind, which I don't really get what's wrong with that. And I don't get how that's corny or cringe. Like me, I prefer white women or Asian women. When I say Asian women, I don't mean Pajitas, I mean Linglings. However, just because like Greek women are not my preference, does that make me corny and cringe? That's just a strange take. And not only is it a strange take, but he completely made out like the red pill space and the red pill ethics are complete trash and a complete lie when it comes to dating. But he didn't notice that it was going to come to bite him in his ass a couple years later, guys. And there, as you guys saw in the clip, is his wife, who was meant to be a virgin, apparently. Even, you know, I know Akaash was a virgin, but he said that his wife was meant to be a virgin as well. But we obviously know that's not true because she woke up with a sore butthole after a Tinder date. And she talks about being at frat parties and popping her pussy, which I'm sure that means having sex, right? Not only did she mention these things, but she also spoke very promiscuously and with very minimal respect for her husband. And it showed me that she doesn't respect, admire, or even want to be with her husband. She's only with him, as she basically said, for clout and for money. And, you know, that's why, guys, you have to vet women properly and you have to go out there and get experience with female nature. And if that means sleeping with a bunch of women, well, so be it. Because Akaash Singh, as a virgin, has gone out there, found a good-looking Indian girl. Because she is, right? Indian girls are not my type. But for an Indian girl, she is attractive. However, she is the worst possible wife you can ever find. And I have dated some Indian girls in the past. And I'm not going to lie to you guys. Pajitas are some of the worst women in the world. And why? It's because feminism is very strong in India and even in the Indian culture. Even back in the UK, I know a lot of the Indian girls, they cheat on their husbands, the Indian guys. They don't want to be with Indian guys, yeah? They talk low of Indian men, yeah? And they simply have feminist ideology, and they happen to be very promiscuous. And even here, which you heard her speaking on a podcast, talking about she has fantasies of having orgies with her friend and her man, who her man is got an amazing body and he's like 10 inches. It's fucking insane. And imagine how embarrassing it must be for Akaash Singh. Not only is it embarrassing, but in the man's world, no one will ever respect him again. He goes in the Hall of Shame alongside with Will Smith. Yeah, alongside with Will Smith. It's the same kind of situation, guys. If not, Will Smith was worse, because Will Smith was actually a great comedian. Will Smith was a great actor. You know, me growing up watching Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, like, you know, a lot of the youthful men wanted to be like Will Smith. Akaash Singh, no one really wanted to be like Akaash Singh. However, as a comedian, as a man, he's absolutely cooked. And honestly, if he doesn't end this relationship, it's just going to get worse for him. The fact that his woman has the audacity and the cheek to go out in public and speak that low of her man when he's given her a great life, he provides for her. Shit, he can't protect much. She's like, what, 5'4", you know? But nevertheless, he's done his best for this woman. And, you know, she's literally spat in his face. And this is why it makes me laugh whenever anyone or any of these influencers talk negative about the red pill space without giving those solutions themselves. And it happens to be that every time I do see any of these commentators or influencers talk negatively about the red pill space, they're always dweebs, nerds. None of the guys who talk shit about the red pill space are any of the guys who could take anyone's girl. Take it that way. Yeah, they are all guys that happen to definitely struggle on the dating market, even with clout, even how you sing now with Akaash Singh. Yeah, well-known comedian, smashed it. His wife's an absolute no one, and he's gone out there, changed her life, given her a better life, but it wasn't good enough, guys. It wasn't good enough. And talking of all these influencers and commentators, it happens to be that a lot of these Myron Gaines haters, they're just commentating channels. That's all they are. They bring no elevation or no real value to any of their viewers. All of their videos are literally on just commentating on others, especially Myron happens to be. So look, even here, guys, you can see Abba and Preach, right? One of Myron Gaines' haters. All reaction videos. Look, none of them are of any value. Majority of them are degenerate, yeah, where these guys are very blue-pilled. They have very feminist views themselves. You know, fucking Abba talks about being sodomized and having girls eat his ass. Preach does some sus shit himself and even pushes people away from Christianity, as you've seen here. And look, as you can see here, they're just a bunch of guys that commentate on other people, especially Myron Gaines. Like, you know, for every 5 videos you see Myron Gaines' face pop up. So that's one of Myron Gaines' haters. Well, 2 of his haters. 2 of his biggest haters, who I really don't understand how people watch them. And here we have another one of his haters, a guy called O'Shea Duke Jackson. A guy who's close to 50 years old, again, brings no value, absolute no value to any of his viewers, and all he does is commentate on others. You know, he commentating on Kevin Gates, Michelle Obama, even though he's very blue-pilled and talks negatively about the red pill. He's a centrist guy, and these are the kind of guys that you need to be aware of the most. Guys who don't stand on anything they believe. Their opinions are really in the middle. They don't want to say anything too controversial. Those are the guys that you need to be aware of the most. These guys are honestly, they're maggots, but with the 6th letter of the alphabet. Work it out, guys. Yeah? These guys, they don't stand for nothing. They have no backbone. They have no real value. They're not respected high in society by men or women. And look, we're going back to it here. This O'Shea Duke Jackson, he actually brought up a video recently about Myron. Where is it? I don't know if I'm on his right channel, because I know he's brought out loads of videos. Oh, okay. There it is. So he brought out a video here.
For Abba and Preach.
Really? After Sneaker had seen my...
According to them. Myron would then go on to his YouTube channel and create a response video called Abba Exposed.
Nicely, we always welcome any other dates work. And
how Fresh and Fit talked badly behind their back. And Myron was arguing the entire time, when you guys just came to our studio, how can you go ahead and react to a video of ours critically or in a negative light? Well, the reality why they did that is because of your disrespect and talking behind their back. And that's why that beef has went on for so long. And Fresh and with, Fresh and Fit. And the reality is that Abba and Preach lost the beef. They lost it in 2021 with Fresh and Fit, and Myron lost the debate with Sneeko. For a debate that the real, okay, and that's basically saying they pay for.
So basically, this O'Shea Duke Jackson guy come out and he said basically that, something along the lines of Myron just reacts to other people and commentates and puts others down. Motherfucker, what the fuck are you talking about? Your whole channel is based on talking on others. Look, your whole channel is based on talking on others. And you have the cheek to turn around and say that Myron Gaines, his whole thing is talking negatively on other groups and that. Look, don't get me wrong. I know Myron says some rage bait stuff, which a lot of it happens to be true, right? However, a lot of his content is developing. A lot of his content is helping young men navigate in finances, dating, and in life in general. Even politics is important to know. So the fact that O'Shea Jackson come out and said that Myron's whole thing and his whole persona is on talking about others, how ironic and hypocritical when your whole fucking channel is literally talking about others. Look, where is one video of you giving any value to any of your viewers? I don't see it. I don't see it at all. And another guy who's been critical of Myron Gaines is a guy called Joe Budden, failed rapper, and now he's got his podcast. On his podcast, he also talks about how he likes to see his woman getting fucked out by other men. It's just weird to me that all these guys who hate on Myron Gaines happen to have a lot of things in the closet. Joe Budden, certified cuck. O'Shea Jackson pays for brasses, as we know. Abba gets his arse eaten and has admitted it on interviews and then asked the girl to take down the interview. Preach, Preach is a bit sus himself anyway with all these gay dancing. So those are Myron Gaines's haters, guys. And now let's type in Fresh and Fit. And let's see their kind of videos, guys, yeah? Okay. Dating. Let's put it like this so we can see all of them. Oops. Oh, it doesn't come out like, okay. I don't know what's coming up on that, guys. Okay, cool. Okay. And now we're looking at Myron Gaines's channel, right? He brings on guests, how to budget before the Great Reset, talks on crypto, obviously does the girls' nights, obviously does the after hours, probably sharpens a lot of the men up when it comes to dating. Talks on real estate here, you can see. So yeah, guys, this is the difference between Myron Gaines' channel and the haters channel. The haters channel, all reactionary and no value. Here on Fresh and Fit, how to turn 0 into thousands with real estate, how to make money and gain 1 million followers, interviewing great guests. They're doing after hours, which I guess helps the men with dating and navigating with females. How to turn 0 into thousands with real estate, how to budget before the Great Reset. So, like, you know, the comparison is just, there's no comparison. Like, he's haters, no value. Just reactionary commentating. Myron, lots of value. And then they have the cheek to turn around and say that Myron's whole thing is about being rage bait and talking on other groups. Crazy. All right, we're moving on. So this weekend, wasn't just an epic UFC card. There was actually a big boxing match that actually happened this weekend, which a lot of people didn't actually speak about, especially considering their first fight, which was a great fight. It was Chris Eubank vs Conor Benn, the second fight, the rematch. And it was at the toilet seat, the Tottenham Stadium, a piece of scum, a piece of shit in the middle of North London, if you know. And yeah, guys, what a fight it was. And I did predict this. I did think that Conor Benn was going to win. I didn't think that he would knock down Chris Eubank. He knocked him down twice in the 12th round. But I did see a domination. Why? Because Conor Benn seemed more motivated after that fight. Within Chris Eubank, you know, I know a lot of people who know him personally. I've met him. He loves the whole lifestyle, you know, being a celebrity, the big jackets, the Louis Vuitton, the Gucci, the females, all of that stuff. So I could just tell that Chris Eubank took the rematch more for the money than the legacy and the fight in itself. However, it paid off for Conor Benn. I think that Conor Benn can go and get himself a big fight now. You know, people talking about him fighting Mario Barrios or even Ryan Garcia. I think any of those fights would be great fights and good fights for him to get his name out there. And he could potentially go out there and get a bigger name and improve his legacy in his sport. Now, with Chris Eubank, I do think this is the end of the road for Chris Eubank. I do think that he's going to retire. I don't see him getting a big fight after this. I don't think he's that motivated enough. And yeah, guys, I don't see him fighting any further. So that's the wrap up for the boxing fight this weekend. All right, cool. Let me get the Mark Levine.
Mark Levin has repeatedly.
So yeah, guys. So Mark Levin, hardcore Zionist, if you guys don't know, come out and called Tucker Carlson a Nazi and said that Palestinians should die. Now, here's a clip of Tucker Carlson speaking on it.
Called for just murdering civilians, children in Gaza because they're Amalek or whatever. They're stained by blood guilt. Prime Minister of Israel said exactly the same thing. They are guilty by virtue of how they were born. So that, by definition, includes women and children. So Mark Levin is not clever enough to keep the implications of these views to himself, and he said them repeatedly on television, just to give you a sense about how Mark Levin feels about human life and the human soul. Watch this.
And I'm supposed to, what, shed crocodile tears for what's going to happen to these people? I'm not. Maybe I'm the only one who will voice it, but I'm not. Israel has every right to throw every damn thing it has at barbarians. And if there are innocent people, quote-unquote civilians, who are killed, then maybe they ought to organize to take out the government they elected. Oh, but don't hurt the civilians. Look, we have to defend ourselves. The Israelis have to defend ourselves. The free world has to defend itself. And if there's collateral damage, well, that's too bad.
Mark Levin.
So, as you guys can see here, the Zionist lobby is going crazy. Mark Levine, Randy Fine, Brandon Tatum, Ben Shapiro. Even Ben Shapiro had some crazy shit to say recently, which I'll pull up as well. But and here is a clip from Brett Cooper, who Brett Cooper used to work for the Daily Wire, if I'm not mistaken. She used to work for Ben Shapiro and then she got dropped. So,
guys, the insanity unfolding between conservative women on X is truly wild. All of this started when a girl posted a photo of her engagement ring and she said that she'd gotten engaged. Sarah Stock posted this photo of her hand with a ring on it.
This ain't even it. One sec.
Because Israel First is a cancer cell. It is a cancer cell, left or right, to everything and everyone wants to play around with it. It is a radical psychosis that has manifested itself within both parties, and it is so radical that MAGA got fractured not when Tucker Carlson interviewed Nick Fuentes, but when Donald Trump looked at us in our faces and said Epstein who. That's when it was game over. And in case you missed it, yesterday, they started attacking Brett Cooper. Right, to take a listen.
Randy Fine, who you don't know who he is, he's a representative from Florida. He's the same guy who bragged about not washing his hands after he had a handshake with Netanyahu. He's repeatedly introduced bills to criminalize anti-Semitism, infringing upon free speech. I mean, he obviously, I'm sorry to say, but he obviously cares more about Israel than he does, principles like free speech. So I think you would be happier if you just moved to Israel. You could be over there singing songs with Mike Huckabee.
Seems like pretty sound advice. Rather than trying to make this country Israel, why don't you just go live in Israel?
And guys, that was great what Brett Cooper said to Randy Fine. Absolutely true. And yes, the youth of America has had absolutely enough, especially the right. Yeah. Look, the left, they live in delusion anyway. Yeah. The progressives, even though they are pro-Palestine, they don't even know what they're even protesting or complaining about. Majority of the left, if you want me to be honest with you, are not mentally sane. However, the right, we've had enough, especially the youth. The boomers, the baby boomers, we don't give a fuck what you've got to say. We don't care about Israel. We don't want to send our tax dollars there. The Bible doesn't say nothing about them being the chosen people. And we picked MAGA. And we picked MAGA for them being America first. We didn't pick MIGA. We didn't make Israel great again. We wanted to make America great again. And that's why we need a big change. Yeah? We need these MIGA, aka MAGA guys, out. Randy Fine, Ben Shapiro, even Donald Trump, Lindsey Graham, Miriam Adelson, out. And in, we need Marjorie Taylor Greene, we need Nick Fuentes, we need Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, Thomas Macy, the people that actually care for America, the people that want America first, not Israel first. And yes, the right has absolutely woken up to all the BS that Israel, the Jews within our system have done, infiltrated our politicians. And yeah, for the country to actually change beneficially, we have to get the Zionists out of power, guys. So,
It's always the obvious question.
Talking of Tucker Carlson, he actually interviewed a guy called Dane Wigington. And guys, I think everyone should go out there and research who Dane Wigington is. He's probably the biggest influencer that has been speaking about weather geoengineering and HARPs and chemtrails for a long time now. You know, I've known about him for a while. I actually tried to get him on the podcast. We weren't able to connect with him, but it was great for me to see him going on the Tucker Carlson podcast and actually expose the government brilliantly. So, yeah, guys, definitely watch this interview.
That are so vigorously discouraged. And one of the questions that's been the most discouraged over the past 30 years are, what are those lines in the sky that you see trailing jets? What is that? Some people call them chemtrails, claim that somehow the U.S. government is spraying poison on the population. Those people are clearly crazy. Wikipedia calls them crazy. Every news outlet calls them crazy. But the trails are still there. And it's clearly not water vapor, because that doesn't make sense at all. So what are they? We've spent the last 6 months trying to find someone credible who could explain that to us. A serious, sane person with an engineering background who could tell us, what are we looking at? Because we're looking at something. And I don't care what names you call me. I still want to know what it is. And we think we have found that person. Dane Wigington of Northern California has been on this subject for almost 30 years and has compiled what we believe, after looking at it pretty carefully, is the most comprehensive account of what we're seeing. And it's very bad.
And guys, to me, people that deny chemtrails, I don't know where the fuck they're living or what they're even thinking. If you can't look up and see loads of lines across the sky that spread out and turn into clouds, like, you know, like weird looking clouds, and cover the sun, then I don't know what the fuck you're doing with your life. Like, this is not even a conspiracy. They actually admit to it, but they say they do it for climate change, guys. But if you go do tests in the soil, which farmers have done, high amounts of metal, high amounts of lead, and this is being sprayed on us, barium, yeah, and it's killing the crops, it's killing us, and we are being sprayed by bugs. And that's why you should definitely go and watch the full interview between Tucker Carlson and Dane Wigington. Even here in California, the last week, we've had tons of rain, tons of clouds, and, you know, majority of people who are fucking asleep, zombies, are like, yeah, this is normal. No, this is absolutely not normal. When I got to California almost a decade ago, it would probably rain or be cloudy maybe 4 or 5 days out of the whole year. Nowadays, throughout our whole winter, it's cloudy, it's raining, and it's simply done by the government. It's done by HARPs, it's done by cloud seeding machines, and it's done by chemtrails. And it's also connected with the 5G towers, if you want me to be honest with you. Go do your research, start detoxing, and guys, let's go up against the government, because the thing is, you can choose not to get a vaccine. You can choose not to take junk and eat it, yeah? You can choose to actually be healthy and incorporate healthy habits in your life. However, we don't choose to be sprayed by these heavy metals and being sprayed like bugs in the sky. Like, this is falling on all of us. I don't pick this. And simply, I believe that any pilot that is spraying chemtrails should get at least 15 to 20 years in jail. You're literally killing people at a mass scale. So the pilots who are spraying chemtrails, they need to be imprisoned. Okay. Okay, I'm going to get a video up on Hassan Piker in China.
So this whole thing with Hassan Piker in China can be summarized with just one word: hypocrisy. Genocide is bad but good when the CCP does it. LGBTQ issues are important but also not when the CCP bans it. Human rights are super crucial, but not when the CCP outlaws it. Cops are bad unless they're CCP cops. Riots and protests are good unless they happen in China. Capitalism is bad, but it's good when the CCP opens Gucci stores. So this whole thing with Hassan Piker in China can be summarized with just one word: hypocrisy. Genocide is bad but good when the CCP does it. LGBTQ issues are important but also not when the CCP bans it.
Well,
I'm a Canadian living in China. Today I will show you how efficient and affordable it is to see a doctor in China as a foreigner.
So basically, Hassan Piker went to China, and during him being in China, you know, he started talking about how he's not patriotic and he doesn't like America. And listen, this is the problem with leftists, progressives, liberals. How can you want to better the country but hate it? You know, look, me, I'm very critical of our current government. I'm very critical of Donald Trump. I'm very critical of Mark Rubio and a lot of others in our government. However, I still want the best for America. I still love America, the opportunities, the land, the people. If we don't have that way of thinking and we think of ourselves as oppressors and, you know, stolen land, and, you know, all criminals and, you know, hating white people, then how is that going to make the country better? It's not. And people like Hassan Piker, a lot of these liberals and progressives, this is the kind of ideology they have. And I simply don't understand why they live in the West. Why do they live in America? Why do they live in England? Why do they live in Australia if they don't like it? Oh, they want the opportunities, but they don't want the culture. Yeah? We don't have no comments right now, innit? There's none here. Yeah, Andy don't know what he's talking about though. Apple didn't eat arse. I would actually say it's way better as a man to eat arse than to get your arse ate. 100 million%. Like, I would rather eat out a girl who's not promiscuous' arse than ever get my arse ate. Like, if you get your arse ate, you're kind of gay, if you want me to be honest with you. You're on that, you're kind of gay. So yeah, AV, you're actually wrong there. Yeah, that's not what Abba did. Abba got his ass ate, not ate ass. So yeah. So okay, I want to get into this Jake Lang thing as well.
They want to pepper spray our people. We'll show them what's up. Muhammad was a pedophile.
All right, cool. So I don't know if you guys have seen as of recent, but there was a guy called Jake Lang who I already knew, you know, he gave me these kosher feels about him. And, you know, he went to Dearborn, Michigan, which you guys know there's been like, a big Muslim takeover there. And he went there and he was provoking them. He was, slapping bacon on the Quran, saying that Muhammad was a pedophile and all of these crazy things, right? And for me, this is not how we're going to sort out America and move forward. Look, Christians need to get along with Muslims, yeah? I don't think Islam's going anywhere. However, I think Muslims need to learn to be more respectful within the Christianity religion. However, this Zionist guy, don't believe him, guys. Yeah, this guy is just trying to cause separation between Muslims and Christians. It's very obvious. This guy, I've seen him touching the wall in Israel. Anyone who touches that wall in Israel, do not trust them, guys. That guy's not a real Christian. And, he went there burning the Quran and all of these. I don't condone burning any holy books. Yeah? Shit, maybe the Talmud, but yeah, no, on a real though, burn no holy books. And yeah, him provoking a lot of Muslims, this is not the way we're going to sort things out. Now, I've been critical of Muslims pushing their agenda with a lot of dominance and some aggression, like in places like England, for example, places like Dearborn, places like Texas. However, my majority of my interactions with Muslims in my life have been very positive, very loving and warm people. They have a lot of great ethics and morals. Now, does that mean they're all like that? No, there is a small minority which are not good. The majority of them guys are happen to be very extreme. And they do hate other religions, including Christianity. And I've seen loads of videos of this in England especially, where they'll talk shit about Christianity, burning churches. It's also happened in Germany, even here in America. And for me, I don't think it's right. Even me, I think I'm a guest. I wouldn't go and push Greek culture on a foreign country. And I do think that Muslims have the right to go to mosques, pray, go to parks, do their prayers. However, I don't think it's right if they're going to take over monumental places like Times Square, like going in front of the White House, for example, and doing their prayers loud with microphones and, pushing their agenda like that. I don't agree with that. However, Islam is not a problem in the West. The biggest problem in the West, guys, is Zionism. Yeah, it's the Jews. It's very simple. They run everything. Muslims, who are only a 2% of America, they don't run the West. Muslims don't run the politicians. Even like Mamdani now being the mayor of New York. Muslims don't run our politicians. Muslims don't run the porn industry. Muslims don't run the pharmaceutical industry. Yeah, Muslims don't push the LGBT agenda. In fact, they're actually highly against it. Muslims don't push feminism. But do you know who does? Do you know who does, guys? Yep. They run everything. They run the media. Yep. They run sports, they run clubs, they run the media, they run politicians, the porn industry, the pharmaceutical industry. Literally everything you've seen in life. The restaurants, the big fast chain companies, the big companies, Palantir, BlackRock, they run every blood clot thing. Yes, boys, it's them boys, the small hats. And that is what's the problem in the West. And even here in the West, I feel like they're trying to push Muslims against the Christians. And I don't think it's going to work. I know it's working with a few people, but yeah, that's my take on it. So, however, look, like I said, yeah, Islam is not the problem, but Islam being pushed in the way it's being pushed is a problem as well. For example, there's been 48 new mosques in Texas in the last 24 months. We are a Christian country, guys. People need to realize that, right? Like, we are guests wherever we go. If that's not your home country, like I'm from Cyprus, my parents are from Cyprus. If I go to England, if I go to America, I'm a guest in their country. Now, that doesn't mean I can't push my culture or my religion or actually partake in it. But to push it with dominance and aggression and, try and make people convert all of that, I don't think it's good for society and for the country. So, I'm going to touch on a few more things before we wrap up, guys. So Max B is home, guys.
That was crazy. Yeah. It's your boy Big Bam. We back, Greasy.
As you guys know, I don't like to push degeneracy. I don't really even listen to rap or hip hop that much. But look, I'm a 90s baby. And around 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 years ago, I started listening to a guy from Harlem a lot. You know, his whole melody, his whole aura was just different to any rapper that had ever come out previously. He was the wavy king, the wavy god. You know, short guy, but full of charisma. And you could tell you couldn't fuck around with him. It is Max B. And Max B, guys, is finally home after 16 years. You know, and look, like I said to you guys, I don't push degeneracy. I know he got done for robbery and attempted murder. He got convicted for felony murder and armed robbery. And look, you know, I don't push those things. And, you know, I say, like, it's wrong, it's bad. I even say it's bad within black culture, right? However, Max B is a fucking legend. He made great music. His melody and his aura was just different to anyone else. And I'm happy to see him home, man. Happy to see him reconnect with French Montana. If you guys don't know, there would be no French Montana without Max B, guys. Max B was French Montana's boss. It was his big brother. You know, Max B kind of gave that whole wavy feel to French Montana as well, which he, you know, carried on and carried that wavy kind of style in the future, even after Max B went to jail. So, yeah, guys, this is a song from Max B. This is one of my favorite songs. We'll play it until we get to the next topic.
Doom ship. We gon' fire this shit up, man. Know it's been a good year so far. Dropped so many tapes, did so many things. Made a lot of songs, Grease, you know. Got the way back, never lost it. Close it out in style, yeah. Shit don't stop though, let's go. King B, we. Money we hold it, baby. The bitches we fuck them
until their pussy's swollen.
Got caught with a blood. Fuck it, I paid it. I fuck anywhere I want. It ain't hard to tell. You ain't fucking with big affair. Still on the big and dollar bag. Well, do some other shit. Motherfuckers is coming quick. Bigger daddy, I wanna never flip. I wanna never hit. Cause they thirsty, try to jerk me. But you missed out. Mommy got a tits out. Poppy got the six out. That's not Poppy, that's Val. With his hair out, clear her out when I come through. I can steal a show from the big names on your bill. Let me see who we next to kill. Sex appeal, bitches love the dick, they can't help it. Margarine stick on your tongue, mommy, I'm melting you out. Who helped them be
I don't think it will, though. Max B probably doesn't have copyrights like that. Oh, fuck's sake. I'm trying to look. All right, cool. So, okay, so then, yes, Jays, what's happening, brother? Aria, what's happening? Hope everyone's doing well. So, moving on, I'm gonna react to I actually got how the fuck do you pause this video, man? Okay. So guys, I'm gonna react to. So guys, I'm gonna react to this video. It's on like a Cypriot Instagram account on Insta, and yeah, my comment actually got the most likes, and I'll show you guys my comment after. But we're gonna react to the video first. So. We'll watch it one more time. And yeah, so guys, that was a video, and it basically tells you what's happened to society these days. And it's not just Greeks, but it's definitely happened within Greeks. Like, you know, back in the day, Greek women understood that men were superior to women, and you know that come with chivalry, that come with the men being a provider and protector, the man being masculine, doing the farming, hunting, etc. But you know, these days with feminism, with social media, and you know the progressive ideology, families, nuclear family, and the whole thing of the masculine man and feminine woman has been abolished. And it's sad to see even in my culture has happened as well, especially seeing that back in the day in Greece and Cyprus, we were very, very traditional. So my comment, which was the most liked comment on the page, was, it got like 40 likes. That's because the men have become soft mummy boys and the women have become masculine, nothing like their mothers and grandmothers. And you know, majority of people agreed with me. You know, some stupid comments. One guy's like, relax, simp. And then a girl called Vasiliki, literally so ironic. Like, women hate accountability. Women are allergic to accountability, guys. So a girl called Vasiliki, Gondor, which, you know, women hate to take any accountability, has written, someone has to be masculine since men are not. Yeah. And it shows again that, you know, we've come so far from religion, God, and nature that it's unbelievable. Like, she's sitting here blaming men, but the facts are not men. Even Greek women, they can't handle Greek masculine men. Yeah, they can't handle it. They'll say, oh, you're controlling. Yeah. Oh, you've got too many rule sets. Oh, too many boundaries, too many standards. That's what happens when you're a masculine man in 2025. So for women to actually flip it around and say, well, men ain't masculine no more, is fucking hilarious. A majority of these women are women who are deep in their 20s or early 30s, late 30s. They're still single. They haven't been married. They don't have a family. And all they do is blame men. Not sure if all my 420 people saw, but Wizardries did take home the Zarlympics overall cup. He won it with the Zangbanger, and it has to be the year of the Wizard this year. Wizardries has absolutely demolished the whole industry. The new drops constantly, the new strains, the new packaging, the whole aura of his whole brand and the whole purple Wizardry feel. Honestly, elite. Even his HQ, for fuck's sake, looks unbelievable. And big up to Wizardries, man. I remember back in the day when Wizardries was just a grower and everyone used to like white label his stuff. I remember when he wasn't really too much into branding and he let other people do it for him. And finally, it's good to see a grower who actually put a lot of sweat, blood, sweat, and tears over the years get back what he deserves, man. And me, I know Wizard personally. You know, we used to be gym partners. we used to go gym together, and he's a great guy. He's very humble. He's good to his team. He doesn't talk shit about other people, and honestly, I'm very happy to see him flourish in 2025. And even 2026, I don't see him slowing down at all. All his new strains he's got, the new seeds that he's popping, the new products that he's always working on. Like, look, the firm have done their thing as well. But 2025 is the year of the wizard. All right, guys. I think I've got a few more things that we could have touched on, but I want to maybe do them next time. Let's put on the Ariel Helwani beef actually quickly before I wrap up. And then we're going to go over to Kick to do the 420 review. All right, it's all old videos that I'm finding here. Filters. Let's do this week.
Popular streamer Aiden Ross was hanging out with Team Islam, Team Khabib. DC even made a cameo. I'm not going to go through all of it, but I did think that there was one really notable part, and it just spoke volumes, at least to me. He's hanging out with Islam, he's talking, then they go to Henzo's, they're training together, and there's a lot of members of Team Khabib there. Usman Nurmagomedov, obviously Khabib is there, Islam is there, but there's this John Pork character, and there's a whole bunch of fighters. It's like 10 or so guys. And Aiden Ross. And then they cut to a scene where Aiden is grappling with who else but Ali Abdelaziz. He's there on the mats, rolling around with Ali, tapping him out, ignoring the tap. Take a look at this. He's tapping out multiple times. I mean, going pretty damn hard on this guy. A kid, an amateur, 25 years old. Multiple taps here, multiple taps ignoring. Never seen a guy with...
Come on, Ariel Helwani, man. Come on, look. You are a good journalist, but you don't have to exaggerate. He wasn't going hard on Aiden Ross. And Aiden Ross is not a little kid. You called him an amateur. Yeah, perhaps he's an amateur. But he's not a little kid. He's a grown man. And to toughen a grown man up is fine. He didn't go hard on him. He put him in like a leg triangle, which wasn't really suffocating him much. He wasn't tapping like he was choking or about to snap his arm. And honestly, I don't think that your hit at Ali Abdelaziz this time is actually valid. Reason being is because Ali actually brought Aiden Ross to the training. So one, he brought him to the training. Two, the athletes are actually training, as you can see in the video. So I think it actually would be rude to get Ali to get a fighter to go and train with Aiden Ross, who is an amateur, as you said, Ariel Helwani. So look, I know you're very critical of Ali Abdelaziz, but I don't think this time is valid. Ali Abdelaziz, like we saw, was not training for a fight. He was just like giving him a little toughening up. It wasn't nothing serious. And frankly, Ali Abdelaziz brought him here. And he did get clout for his fighters as well, including Islam and all the others that were there, like Umar and a few of the others as well. So yeah, that's my take on that. So guys, come over to Kick. Come over. We're only going to Kick now, and we're gonna review the Toe G by the firm. So guys, come over to Twitch. Kick. Sorry, come over to Kick. You guys know where it is on Kick. Come over to Kick, guys, and I'll see you guys there. Come over to Kick. Come over to Kick. All right. Do you want to close all the